What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Music Maniacs with Sight After Dark podcast. We have a very special guest today, Mr. Ray Shirley White Sr. in the house.
Watch out. You have to call me Shirley, but you have to call me Shirley.
So again, thanks again for being here. Really appreciate it. Big shout out to Richie G for making this happen.
Yeah.
And this definitely wouldn't be happening without him. So we really had to shout him out.
Yeah. And a good man.
We're excited to talk to you.
I'm so happy to meet you, even though it's not in person. Oh my gosh, like bowing down to you and your work, Ray.
Oh, please. We're on this side of the grass, so I'm grateful for that alone. You know,
Yes, sir.
We made it through the new Black Plague.
For real.
Every day above ground is a good day.
Yeah.
Amen. That's real. That's real. Be thankful.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was wondering how people felt when they came out to the shows. You know, it was like I was hoping that everyone was just happy, just to be out with each other again without masks and having a good, and stop thinking about politics and craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Be happy you're still here. You have a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, a chance to do something positive. But before that, enjoy this music and rock out, you know?
Exactly.
Dance in the streets, come on.
And that's one of the things that's so beautiful about music, right? Is that it gives you the ability to not think about your problems and the problems of the world for a little bit in that moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Suspend your disbelief and come on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So we wanted to say, so what what first brought you into music? Like what was your, musical journey? How did you get started and how did you go forward?
In music, well, let's see. I was born in Michigan, and my family is mostly from down south, Alabama and Arkansas. I was born in Michigan, and when I was 3, I think it was, my family moved back to Arkansas. And I don't remember this, but there was a point where my mother always had a piano. Wherever we went, there was a piano. And I'm on the porch, and I could barely reach the keys, I've got my hands above my head, but I found this tonality. And I kept repeating it. My mother screams and runs onto the front porch. She's saying, "Who's playing that music?" It was a voodoo song called The Devil's Dance. I promise you. I promise you. Now, the way I figure this, the devil never brings anything good to life. So come on. I'm just rocking out here.
Yeah.
But I played that, and I played piano by ear. And then I always loved music. My brothers used to order these records from this is a shout out, and this man deserves to be recognized. Randy's Record Shop in Gallatin, Tennessee. The first guy to play black music on the radio. And it was like, they'd get these 78s, and I would listen to everything they played. I listened to everything. They had a band. My brothers both played guitar and keyboards. They had a band. They practiced on the sun porch up in Michigan. I loved it, and that was it. I was hooked. I can't never get it. I remember sax solos from 1952.
Yeah.
Frank and I had this contest one day about who he said this when I first got the gig. I may be getting ahead of the story here, but I was I had auditioned, got the gig, and he mentioned the record from 1958, I think it was, and he gave the name of the group. I went back to 1957. He went back to 56. He goes, the Five Satins. I go, the Cadillacs. And then finally I go, 1951, Ting-a-Ling by the Clovers. He goes, how old are you? I was only 6 then, but I remember Ruth Brown. I remember all this stuff is in my psyche. It's back there, and it's just, it's a joy in the morning to get up and know that I can come in here and write. But that's what I did. I joined band in 5th grade and played alto horn, baritone horn. Went to drum section. They kicked me out because I corrected the. Okay, you gotta hear this. This is what they considered conga. They were going dun 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 dun. That's a square beat.
Yeah.
Dun 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 push. Dun 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 push. Now, come on, everybody that's seen I Love Lucy knows that Ricky Ricard, that's the groove. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I got kicked, and the teacher's name was Mr. Forte. I promise you. A music teacher named Forte? Come on.
He thought he was a king of music.
He was the king of all he surveyed. These fifth graders, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up on B flat bass horn, and but when I quit band, I forgot all that. I forgot everything. It just I have this ability to. I'm not sure if it's an ability or a disability, but once I get off tour, I forget everything. Everything goes away, and my mind is clear to do what I do. And because sometimes I think we clutter our minds up and our spirits up with everybody else's stuff. It's okay to listen to stuff, but don't get so go down the rabbit hole and forget what you do, you know?
Right. Well, yeah, that's kind of a blessing in a way, right? To be able to do that, and then once you're done, just kind of like reset and be in the moment again instead of living in what was going on before. It's like, no, this is what's happening now.
Yeah.
You've got to. With 4 kids, you better. you better reset.
Yeah, that's for sure. So that's so interesting. So you left band in 5th grade. Like what?
Well, actually, I left band in 8th, 9th grade.
Okay.
Well, what happened? I'm sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
Well, I was playing B flat bass horn, and there was a song we had to do. I was reading, and then called El Matador, and the bass line goes dun 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 faster and I'm sitting there looking at the conductor, and I'm playing away. And he's looking at me, and he's starting to fume. He's turning red, blue, and every other color of the rainbow. And after the concert, he goes, "You will read in my class." And I'm like, did I play the score? Yeah. Did I do it correctly? Yeah. That's the point I went, whoa, something's wrong here. About the night before, or 2 nights before, I looked at the score, and I didn't see music. I saw these valleys and stuff. I saw the naturals and accidentals. I saw the whole thing. And it wasn't music in front of me, but I could see it. So I played it. I was right. He was wrong. He should have said, "How did you do that?" To a kid,
right.
How did you do that? And get it, and encourage you. But he didn't do that. So I went, no, this is not the way I want to go.
He was basically mad that you were able to see it in a way that he wasn't?
He was mad that I wasn't looking at the score. I mean, is that stupid? Is that stupid?
I mean, as long as you're playing it right. I mean, who cares, right?
It's definitely not
smart. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, look, these orchestras that play, they played these orchestras that they played Mozart, they played, every composer you can think of for years. You don't think they know it. All they got to do is look at the conductor and get the timing that he wants and the feel that he wants. You don't. When you sit there and it's like brushing over things, like, okay, cursory, got it.
Yeah.
You don't sit there studiously every day. Like, I got to remember that I already know this. No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Oh my gosh. No, I wanted to ask like what propelled you to just keep on doing music, but now like after you just told that story, that's just like a testament to like your will and your like desire to go on, because you had like some discouragement like in school and stuff, and but nonetheless you just were like, no, I know what I'm doing, and that is like amazing.
Well, there were 2 types of music. There was the school band thing, and they never crossed over. They never took the music in school and brought the contemporary stuff into it, so you can see where they all came together. You never did that. There's always these straight songs and straight things you have to play the straight way. And meanwhile, I'm listening to Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. I'm listening to all these other things, and I'm like, well, what does this got to do with that? But then they took us to Chicago, and we saw the Marine Band.
Whoa.
And I promise you, there was this one old guy, they had him sit way up in the balcony, and he could listen to an orchestra, and they had one guy make a mistake. You got all these, I don't know how many pieces were in that orchestra. One note.
And he picks it out.
Picks it out in the balcony. I was amazed. But then hearing those horns, I mean, come on, man. The Marine Band, it was like crisp, beautiful timing, and I could feel it. And it wasn't like orchestra. It was like, these guys are precise and it's beautiful. So I started thinking. Well, I used to sing. Hey, there my lips go, brain, lips. Hey, how you doing? Anyway, street corner singing,
Ooh.
singing on street corners, doo wop, and with my friends, you know, Frankie and Hooch, and I'm not supposed to call him Hooch though. Anyway,
That's a
these
cool
guys,
name.
you know, but all these guys, and we would sing, and we bring down. What we do is like we would try to bring the stars down. We could. I was shy. I was extremely shy. I couldn't talk to a girl if you paid me to. I could, but at the parties, I'd get my guys and we start singing. I could look right at her and sing the song to her,
Nice.
and I could make her cry.
Yeah.
I could communicate that way, but after the song's over, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Scared to death. But it was all. I mean, this conversation I got there it goes again. I love you for having all these vaccinations and stuff, but can I keep my brain for a little while longer? But that's my impetus was just I love music, and I always wanted a guitar. At 15, my brother Chuck had bought this guitar, his first guitar he owned, and he gave it to me on my 15th birthday.
Oh, man.
I stayed upstairs in my room and cried for about an hour because it's the kind of gift I think people don't realize sometimes the kind of gift that when somebody gives you something, instead of saying like, "Oh, I don't need these shoes anymore," here, they're like, you like this,
Yeah.
you're gonna love this, and just splash. And so I went downstairs, plugged it in, and played a song called "Mighty Low." I figured out, this does that, this okay, and I started playing. And my mother was like, "What are you doing?" "I'm playing." You know? So it was. I couldn't wait to get home from school to play. You know, I disappeared from the playgrounds. I told a kid the other day I was at Sam Ash here in Las Vegas, and he was playing. This little kid was blazing, and I said, "Well, go home. When you go home tonight, go in your bedroom, turn off the light. No plugged in. Don't plug it in. Just put your guitar on your chest and play. Put your finger somewhere, hit a note, sing that note. Just randomly in the dark, sing those notes. It helps train your ear."
Yeah.
But at the same time, you start seeing the board, the keyboard, the fretboard in your head. You feel distances. It's like being a blind man, but everything else opens up.
Wow.
You
That's
have
beautiful.
to,
Right.
and it worked. I was doing it as a, let me try this. And
Right.
my mother would have to come upstairs and take my guitar off me and put it away because I played till I went to sleep and I just hold it. So
Yeah.
it's what you love to do.
Yeah.
Do it. Never learn to read. Oh, go ahead, please.
No, I was just gonna say I feel that when I was a kid, I used to be playing guitar so much I didn't ever want to leave my room, and my mom thought I was depressed. She was like, "Are you okay? Like, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "There's nothing wrong. I just love this. This is all I want to do."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just totally see what you're saying about like playing in the dark.
Yeah.
Like that's what I used to do. Like I used to. Maybe the lights weren't off all the time, but like I would be plugged in, and then just doing that, you kind of understand like where your fingers make what notes, and then your brain just kind of even subconsciously knows like, okay, if I play this is what it sounds like, and then
you can hear.
just get used to it. Yeah,
and you can hear. You hear tonalities. If you strike the string this hard, or if you stop and use your finger and you hit a string, or you move the string, you bend the string just a little bit, you can hear it.
Yeah.
You can hear the decay. You start to really understand the instrument. That's why I play with my fingers. I tried with a pick, but then I saw Chet Atkins, and I was like, "Oh, this is done." Any guy can play 3 songs at once, man. Come on. Yeah. So it was just I wanted to hear the wood. I wanted to hear something as close to nature as I could get it. But now I got this new pedal board, and that's all out the window. So
nice. And those open up this whole new possibilities. Those pedals.
Man. It's infinite. I'm still looking for the tone. I've got it set up. Let me see. I pull this out here. 1 second. Are you guys visual? Are you? Can you see me?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. I'm gonna try to take this down without causing any interruption. And if I can turn this around, you'll see what I'm talking. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
I've got it up on a little table so that I can mess with things and twist things and turn things and find what I'm looking for, you know?
Yeah. We have, it's funny, I saw the mic stand. We'll do the same thing. We have one of those, the same exact mic stand right next to us right now.
Oh man.
The whole thing. I don't know if you can even see the mic really.
Right.
And at this point, our technology decided that it hated us. Please excuse the technical difficulties, and please enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Well, we're back like it never happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're tech wizards over here. No, we never have any tech difficulties.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right, people at home.
Everybody goes, not.
Oh man. So what were you saying? You're showing us your pedals.
Oh yeah.
Talking about your
We're talking about the music, the playing with my fingers, the sound of natural stuff, and until this stuff entered my life. And I
Well,
it's Hosanna.
This whole thing, it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because we could be talking to each other from however far away we are, but then sometimes we're kind of just at the mercy of the technology.
Yeah.
Think about it though. I mean, years ago, God, man, I feel like Jack Benny. You guys wouldn't know who Jack Benny is, do you?
I've definitely heard it. Is he a talk show host?
Yeah, he used to be an old radio guy, then movies and stuff. But he was always 39 years old. He was like 90 years old. So I'm 39, and that was it. I'm not going any further. But you didn't have cell phones. Your car broke down. You had a problem. You had to walk, or you had to, look for a phone booth. And now we've got all this convenience, and we forget things like, I don't know, like hanging out with each other in a garage playing music. You know how it is? Now we get virtual stuff. Nobody plays with each other anymore. Oh, I don't even get away. Nobody plays music with each other anymore. Man, that was Freudian. Guys that everybody's so egotistical. I see these young guys who are like, they're in their own little world and nobody wants to play with each other. What's the word? Converse? Huh?
A lot of that is the social engineering. Like my sister says, she teaches, and she was like, it's how the kids are being engineered. It's, as soon as, they're born, you're putting them in front of a blue screen and they're interacting with the blue screen and not necessarily with you, the parent, and it's a cartoon that they're interacting with. They're not watching like Sesame Street with humans and stuff like that,
In the military, they've got guys flying drones. The guy that found Gaddafi was flying a drone from the Air Force Base here in Las Vegas.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And see, so you're programmed from Atari on, to it's a video game. You're not killing thousands of people. It's a video game. It looks like a video game. Now we're flying drones, and there won't be any pilots in aircraft anymore, and it's just a video game.
Yeah.
Until they come home.
Just a screen.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that flew the Enola Gay, when they dropped the bombs on Hiroshima, and he became an alcoholic because it hit him later on what he'd done.
Yeah.
It was a military mission, but it was his soul.
Right.
And so that's a different thing. I think people that think they get away with things, like musicians, Steve Vai had the same kind of thing happen to him when he was in school, and he was teaching his kid this thing, and the instructor walks in and says, "You can't do that." And Steve said, he went, "Whoa,"
Yeah.
Because the book says the book never played live.
Right.
The book that has no imagination. If you don't leave room for imagination, you just neutered the whole system, the whole the world at large. No kid can play any note other than there's a Wes Montgomery song, and Wes Montgomery was blaze. He would blaze, and he made this mistake. He was like, clunk. And I was like, what? He did it again. He did it like 4 times in a row. And it was like, whatever I say, I'm only a half step off above it or half step below it. Yeah. I was on my way there. I just chose to stop here. But like you told me, the blue screen, I was at the airport. Boy sitting here, little girl sitting against the wall over there, and they're texting. I could tell they're talking to each other because he keeps looking up and she gets looking up. And I'm like, I'm watching this thing go down, and I was like, so I walked over to him. I'm like, excuse me, you have to approach it like you're not a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? Kids are kids. So it's like, excuse me, young man, she's right there. You're going to lose the ability to speak, like I'm losing it right now. The ability to speak, get up, go over, say hello.
Right.
Everything's at a distance. You know?
No more passing notes in class.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You know? But Apple made it a little more. It's like it's got to go convoluted that nobody knows. They don't know each other anymore. And then you can write a message. And I want to hear your voice. I want to hear how you're inferring. I want to hear everything. I want to hear the nuances. A kid wrote me this letter. He wanted me to do this gig with him in Michigan. I said, yeah. So he goes, well, you have to take a train and a bus. I'm like, wait a minute. So I said, no, that's not where it works. And he said this really snotty thing. And I was like, call me. I wanted to make sure that I was reading it. I'm reading it. And the inference, I could take it any way, this way or that way.
Right.
I need to hear your voice, the tone of your voice, so I know where you're going with this.
I know exactly what you're saying. Because the thing I've realized with text is that everything comes off worse over text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the way you might mean something is like a joke, but then in text you're just reading it and you're like, that was rude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's no emotion behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. The person that writes, no, he won't be able to do that. He'll be like virtual reality, Say, oh no. Oh, I see. It's got a smiley face and a heart. So what does that mean? No, it means talk to somebody on the phone or go by the house and talk to them,
Yeah.
The reason I'm married 52 years is because I run. No, sorry. No, but music, back to music, it's like, for me, I was, these kids were talking about playing, and I went to the house and we were playing this music, and it was all mid-range, and it was just like that. So it was like a basic thing. I wanted to open that door without telling them what to do. Mm-hmm. It was like your settings, mid-range, you're there and there. Okay, now you can't play where he's playing, period.
Everyone has to have their space.
Yeah, so don't call and response, old African thing. Mm-hmm. They talk about funk. That's all funk is, call and response. But if you got two people, it's easy. 3 people, now you got to find that third piece. Now the 4 pieces, you got to find that 4th piece. Then you're rolling. Now the whole rhythm can be heard, Mm-hmm. So I listen to a lot of African music, Middle Eastern music. I listen to every music I can except American Western music, because they miss the feel. Mm-hmm. Brazilian music. I want the feel of it. I want to hear where you change that chord right in the middle of the phrase, and it was like, oh, that was delicious, And I want to feel that again, but I can't feel it if I listen to sterile, I told Frank, there's 1 in 3 neighborhoods, because white people notoriously clap on 1, 3, 1, 3. Black folks, 2, 4, and Hispanics 6, 8. So he goes, 6, 8? I went, yeah, 6, 8 neighborhoods, 1, 3 neighborhoods. That's a way to say it without being stupid with it, We were in Boston, and I was trying to keep the crowd going. I'm like, 1, 3, 4, and 2, and they were going. It was like a wave of fish. Frank walks up to the mic and goes, Ray, these are white people. 1, 3, and they did it. I was amazed. I started to laugh. I was like, I'm done. Just turn me over. I'm done.
They were like, oh yeah, that was just a different wave than I was on. They were on the opposite.
It was great. Do you guys play both? You play?
Yeah.
You play. You guys play together?
Yeah, that's how we started. We met at an open mic in the Lower East Side, and we started a band, and then that's how all of this happened.
Right.
And then we started doing like YouTube videos and stuff, and that's how like Richie found us, and like he started talking to us, and he hooked us up with like tickets to come see you. Like this all happened just because of the internet. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a good thing because it's the start of a good thing. There are people that use the internet, and I watch a lot of YouTube, and there are people that use it for this fake thing, but then I see the germ of in reality, when I see some people that are really responding like you do in real life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that's natural. That's cool. So I'll watch them. I will contribute to their success. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I'll subscribe. I'll like. I'll do that whole thing, and then it becomes like every day I'll watch them. You know,
Yeah.
I watched the kid give us these people $50,000 the other day. And it was like the coolest thing ever. Met him at Walmart somewhere. I forgot the incident, but he started a GoFundMe, and money was coming in from Israel, from everywhere. 50 grand, and they're an old couple. I mean, whoa, they were rocks younger than they were, you know?
Yeah.
But it was but to see how it's used that way,
right.
it's like that's the way it's supposed to be used. It's like people that use fame. They use fame like some weapon. You know, like I'm famous now. You go from where you are right now to selling triple platinum tomorrow. Can you maintain that heart? Can you maintain that feel of naturalness?
Right.
Can you still be accessible to people? Can you go to Walmart or to your local store and shop? And when people walk up to you, not be snotty or afraid, you know?
Right. And
And
so we've talked about that of certain artists that are able to do that, like Bjork, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
artists
like there's a few people that like even though they're big, like you can tell like they would just be at a store and like not want to call attention to themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're just living their normal life, you know?
Yeah.
And there are a
It's
lot
hard.
of artists today who are great on social media, but that's not translating into filling out seats. So you'll have somebody whose record went diamond, and I'm talking about a real person right now. Record went diamond, but they had to discount their tickets to like $20, and they still can't sell out their seats. Like, you know, and that's the difference between like what you said,
there's something missing.
Right.
There's something missing, and when people connect, it's like this morning. Yesterday, I was thinking about this. I was like, wow, written all this music. I've got 125 albums of material here.
Whoa.
And the first thing I released was I had to get something out. Just do it out there and see the picture on the cover. Oh, that's terrible. But it was like get it out there. But I it's like it's like giving away a slave, or you know what I'm saying, like a baby, you know. But it's not for money. It was like, oh, I got this idea. This feel. Oh, that's a cool feel. And so I finished it. I go down the road and I finished the whole thing. Yeah, I like that. My wife will like it. When I first started, the kids they were small, and they were just, if they went to sleep and were like that, it was hit. It was there. It's there, you know? If they get up and dance, I could feel it's real. But I try not to say anything that's fake. And like when I first hooked up, I was playing primordial thickness, which is, it's like, oh, this thickness goes way back. I think it goes back a ways, you know? And there are people that are born with this, you know, so I have to describe it. I'm like a griot in Africa, you know, you have to note it and describe it and keep history, you know, read the history back to people. People don't understand.
Yeah.
There was a kid in my neighborhood in San Francisco, and he was trashing my kids' toys outside. So I'm like, what's up? I came outside, and he cowered like a dog would cower, you know, and the tail took his tail like he's been beaten. Yeah. And he has his shirt off, and he turned around, and there were scars on his back like that, like a slave had been whipped.
Whoa.
So I went, you know, I mean, I could cry talking about it, but I took him in through the garage. I said, come here. The little studio downstairs at their house. I said, would you tell me something? They had all the LEDs were going red and guitars, and he's like, ooh. I went, who's this? I said, you like rock and roll? Oh, that's white boys music. I said, oh yeah, come on. I put on that record 45. I said, who's this? Black or white? He goes, black. Nope, James Vincent, white. But on the who's this? No, he couldn't tell. The music was music.
Right.
His ears were still not jaded, you know. So the next day I was talking to him, I said, that day, and I said, hey man, his hair. The young lady, what's your name?
Sifa.
Sifa. I said, oh, I love it. But you know what I'm saying? The hair was BB's, uncombed, never been combed. You know, try to get a comb through it, it broke the comb. Yeah. So I said to him, letting him keep his dignity. I said, hey man, waves for the babes, curls for the girls. Next day, my wife goes, come look. So I'm looking out the window, looking down. He's walking back and forth around the house, waiting to see me. Hair combed, you know?
Nice.
Okay, go fast forward. 30 years, fast forward. I'm helping a friend clear out this house. He flipped the houses, so I'm helping him, get the thing together. In drives this big Cadillac Escalade, beautiful car. This tall guy gets out, really elegantly dressed. This black boy was on the money. He walks up, he goes, Ray? I said, Charles? He goes, curls for the girls, waves for the babe. He was a millionaire, real estate investor.
Wow.
That's amazing. He said that moment, because he was sleeping in the backyard of his relative's house. In my family, if you came from down south, and wherever you came from, we didn't have no beds. We got pallets. You put a pallet down, some blankets. Kids are going, kids are kids. Anywhere I am, I'm cool, as long as I'm safe, But what you put in, you put seed in, positive seed, walk away. I don't expect anything from you. I want to see you live a cool life. Musicians the same way, more so because you're in front of people, you're saying things, and you got to be careful what you say. A friend I let him into a sound check in Arkansas somewhere. He said, they won't let me in. I was playing with a band called KVHW. Check them out. KVHW. So I let him in and I let him record this song called The Point of No Return. He takes the song to the hospital. His mother's been in a coma for like 3 months. Terminal cancer. He puts the headphones on. She wakes up.
Whoa. Now,
when he said, I'm getting goosebumps. When he said that, it was like,
wow.
It's like, be careful what you say. Your words can be healing. It's the phrase that I came with this phrase. It says constructive criticism or destructive examination. Which is it? So when she woke up and he said that to me and he's like tears in his eyes, I'm like, oh man. It just made me,
that's beautiful.
The light comes out, but being a musician, I know some songs may come, some dark things may come, but I got to find a way to make it. I can't keep it going to hell. I mean, come on now. I mean, there are people that love that field, right. But if you want to rejoice, I mean, I don't want you walking away from here thinking negative thoughts.
Right.
And if you have a band and people think you're in a band, we can just do anything on stage. No. Every small move is seen. If you make a mistake and I go, they see it.
Right. You got to act like it never happened.
You act like it never happened and go on to the next, and you laugh. Somebody makes a mistake and go, oh, that was a good one. And you keep on pushing. Now you're bonding, right. You're together.
Right.
Makes a difference. I'm sorry, I get carried away in that.
No, it's great. We love to hear it.
Exactly.
But I'm curious. So you said, you dropped out of the band when you were like 8th, 9th grade after he told you, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So how do you go, like, what's in between like that? Like, what did you do after that until like you like meeting Frank and getting involved in all this?
Well, I went to high school. I was a 9-letter man in school. Got letter in every sport.
Whoa.
Graduated high school. My stepfather got me a job doing industrial X-ray, missile parts. Great job, but I was bored, kid. I went to the Air Force, me and a friend, and so they sent me to Italy for 4 years. This is 1963. Vietnam was hot, and I was in the Air Force, joined the band there with some guys, and really cool. I learned a lot. Came home back to the Midwest, and it was like, no. I've been to Italy. I've been to Germany. All of a sudden, you never go home again?
Yeah.
The desk looks smaller. The streets look smaller. It's like, wow. I've been on the Champs-Elysees. I've been stood on the Eiffel Tower. What is this? I'm in Aurora, Illinois. Wayne's World, remember?
Yeah.
That's where I went to school, Aurora, Illinois. Wow. How dare you? So, anyway. So I left there. I came home to the Air Force, and it was like, I'm not doing this. Flew to San Francisco. I had a silver dollar in my pocket and my guitar.
Wow.
And a place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman was It's crazy. Crazy. Ooh, that's the word. But anyway, I got a job at Abercrombie and Fitch, and I went to. I'm thinking the wrong way around here. End up at the Mint, the Bureau of the Mint in San Francisco. Met my wife there. I was doing this band in this band called Willie and the Wild Bunch. Mm-hmm. I had just found out that the guy back in the band was a pimp.
Oh man!
Now, my real father, bishop in the church. Ooh. 3 brothers, ministers. Ooh. Mother church lady. This doesn't sit well with my spirit. You know, usually that vibe of bullies and that kind of vibe, it makes me, I get, ooh, man, you just don't know. So I'm up at this guy at this house. We had this beautiful place in San Rafael. You can see San Francisco, like the Emerald City. And the phone rings that says, for you, Ray. So all these guys, these thugs and ne'er-do-wells. And so it was Lady Bianca Thornton. And she goes, can you talk? I'm like, no. I was doing a song by the OJs called Survival. And one of the lines was, my little girl needs a new pair of shoes. I'm going to slow my speech down. I talk really fast. Needs a new pair of shoes. She says, I hear your little girl needs a new pair of shoes. I said, yeah. Can you be at the airport at 4:30? Yeah. Got your guitar? Yeah. Gone. Flew to LA. She tells me he's going to test you on this. And she sings this strange line. I'm like, what is this? I go to the audition. I walk in with clogs, white linen pants, a dashiki, and an afro that big. Frank goes, oh no, the Black Panthers are trying out for the band. I don't know who he was. Okay, back up. A week or two before that, a friend of ours had invited me to his house. He lived in their projects. But his father was the head of the EOC in San Francisco. He didn't need to live in the projects. He wanted the experience. Hervey, if you're listening, you know it's true. Anyway, he puts on moving to Montana. And I was like, I'm looking at the wrong place. The camera's right here. I keep wandering around there. I keep like you're in the room. But so I'm like, this is the craziest white man in the world. I go to LA, it's him. He plays this line and he goes, play this line. I looked at it, he goes, real arrogantly, he puts a cigarette in his mouth and goes, watch my fingers. I'm like, watch your fingers. Excuse me, I gotta put my, yeah, there you go. Now I got symmetry, okay? But I said, I don't want to see your fingers. And I turned my back. I said, play it. He plays it. I play it by ear. Nice. His manager goes, his mouth went. And I'm like, cool. Can you sing? I said a little bit. And so, City of Tiny Lights, show him the song, hit it. The manager immediately comes and gets me and walks me across the floor, telling me about the money, no drugs and all this stuff. I'm like, the guys are still trying out behind me. The gig is gone.
Right.
But I was in Frank Zappa's band. Went to his house that night, and after we talked about doo-wops and stuff, floor full of albums, all with conch. You know what a conch is? The straightened hair.
Mm-hmm. Like
look at the 50s pictures of old groups. They got their hair straightened and the pompadours. There's one called a Tony Curtis. I wore that one. I'm sorry. But, you know, you put that stuff on your hair till your head burns and it's ready. Ready? I'm dying here. But went to his house, went back to San Francisco, and guys were like, who are you playing with? I was like, I mean, Frank Zappa. Frank Zappa. The hell's going on? Zappa. And they talk, what is going on? Who is this dude? Fast forward, I'm at Burbank Airport, getting ready to fly back to San Francisco after some rehearsals. George Duke walks up and goes, Ray White, how does George Duke know my name? George Duke goes, Ray White, and I went, I'm standing there. Have you ever read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
No, but that became a movie.
Okay, so when Arthur Dent was stranded on ancient Earth, you know, and this, what's his name? Oh, Wildbanger, the infinitely prolonged. He lived forever. So his mission was just, I have nothing to do. I'll go from planet to planet and from solar system
Right.
to solar system and just insult people by name. He's got a scroll of all the people in the universe. That's his gig. He lands. Arthur Dent hasn't seen or spoken to anybody in years. So he's like, the guy's like, Arthur Dent? He goes, yes. You're a jerk and a knee biter. He gets back in the ship and he's lifting off. Arthur needs a ride, but he can't talk. He hasn't used his vocal cords. George Duke, me, I can't talk. He's like playing with Frank. I went, yeah. He goes, crazy shit, huh? Yeah. And he walks away, and I'm like, but Masked Man, I want, who is the Masked Man? You know, the Lone Ranger. Lone Ranger never stops for hellos and thank you. Lone Ranger always just on his horse, rides off into the sunset. You know.
Wow.
But it was a cool time, you know.
Wow, that's crazy. So you heard Montana. You didn't know who this guy was. You're like, this dude is crazy.
No idea.
And the next thing you know, you get called up. Oh, I got an audition, and it just happens to be him.
But yeah,
I mean,
where it came from was I was nice to her.
right.
She was in a relationship that was, you still know, kind of stuff that women have to deal with, and especially then. And I was upset with this person she was with because he would put hands on to the point she would almost get a contract, be ready to go do his contract, and he would beat her up, stuff like that.
Wow.
Didn't want to be left behind. She got the gig with Frank. He followed her jumped on the crew bus, and she had to lead the band. But she called. I was kind to her because that's who I am. I wasn't kind to her to be kind to her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't just start stomping on people. I don't have that mentality, So she remembered me, suggested me to Frank. I thank her to this day. Lady Bianca.
Yeah.
She's got a voice like you would not believe. Play keyboards like it's like take Big Mama Thornton and put in some Etta James and some Aretha Franklin. The woman can blow.
Wow.
And she's just body with it, She suggested me and I got the gig and I thank her to this day, It's a good
Shout out to
friend.
Lady Bianca.
Yeah. She did friend. She didn't talk friend. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There are those that talk friendship like,
Right.
I'm your friend. But I'm out of gas on the freeway, man. Can you?
Oh, I'm busy.
Yeah, okay. Shows your heart, Instead of saying like,
actions always speak louder than words, right?
you know what I'm saying? In music, those people, I'm gonna put it. I can feel from with somebody new. And there's 4 or 5 people in the room and got instruments, and I can feel the one that's reticent to let go and be a part of instead of trying to bring it all to himself.
Right.
He's not letting it go. To see how it blends with everything else. It's always me. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I love that. But how about me? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With my brother, I gave him this concept, and he writes this song. It's all about me. Oh, dinner was great last night. And she goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, but it's all about me. Oh, sex was tremendous. She goes, oh, really, dear? He goes, yeah, but it's all about me. Everything's this way. When the point's that way, you can't go there. There's no way. You want to showboat on stage and not make it a part of the show. Our friends were like, why don't you get more songs? I'm like, I don't care. One song. That's all I need. My mother said, if you take a bushel basket and put it over a fire, what happens? It catches on fire. From one little fire, now it's bigger. One song is all you need. Step on the gas, do it, step back. It's not your show. It's for the ensemble. It's for the show, not for me. But everybody enters this thing like, stepping stone. I'll do this, then I'll be famous.
Right.
You haven't even gotten past the first place. You haven't even gotten into the first place, but you're planning on the next step. How about treating the people you're with kindly? How about loving where you're at, having fun with where you're at, becoming a unit? That comes later. Money is down the road. This is what counts. Because when you lose your money, you're going to find out who your friends are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't be famous and rich without my friends being on the beach in Hawaii with me. But I won't have them there if I have an arrogant butthole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Frank said he says you can get 3 monkeys and a baboon, teach them 3 chords apiece. You got 70 songs. But nobody wants to go on the road with a dork. They say, no, a double dork. Wait for it. A double dork butt rash. And no one wants to hang out with you. You know, when you're playing music, man, and there's just that flow wherever you go. I like to play chords where a lead player can go like that. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Playing Frank's music is hard because it's set in stone almost. I got to play what I wanted to play. I knew the chords, but I got to play those riffs underneath like I wanted to play them. But some guys get to the point where it's like, no, he wrote a 16th over a number, and this. You forgot the fun.
Right.
We had fun. You can't just stand there and go. Bring it to life, please. Somebody drop the trousers, do something, you know.
That makes me think of something that you said earlier, and like, let me know if my perception of this is wrong. Like you were saying how when you were in school, it's like they had like, you know, this like by the book kind of thing, and you were like, this has nothing to do with the music that I actually like and the music that I like. But I feel like with Frank, and this is just what it seemed like from us, like knowing more about Frank and listening to him, I feel like he had the book, but he also obviously had so many other influences. He kind of was able to combine that, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely. Look, his hero was Johnny Guitar Watson. Come on.
Yeah.
Or here's my Johnny Guitar story, if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
So Frank had told me about Johnny Guitar and how cool he was. He liked Johnny a lot. So I'm doing a gig in LA with this guy, what's his name? Harvey Sales? I forget his name. But he wrote some songs for Johnny Taylor, which were hits. And he wanted me to play with him. I went to LA with him and did this show, and Johnny was headlining the show. And at the end of the show, Johnny he had one leg up on the table at this certain table, and the woman is sitting there, and Johnny's crotch is right here. And he's grinding, and she's going, "Oh, Johnny, oh, you're just so crazy." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, dude. I mean, look, okay, a show is one thing, but no, we're not doing this." So at the end of the show, what I did was I got her on the floor, and I crawled across the floor, and I'm going, "Johnny Guitar Watson. Oh, Johnny Guitar." And I get his pant leg, and I'm climbing up his pant leg. Johnny Guitar. And he's going, he goes, "You might have to," I'm going to say the N word. You might have to bleep it. "Get up, little N word." And so I went, okay, so fast forward a couple of years, I'm going down to Frank's house, driving up Laurel Canyon, and I pull in, and I had bought this little car so I could have it down in LA for, rehearsals. I park it, a little raggedy little Datsun, whatever it was. That's a Bearcat pulls in behind me. Wow. I get out of my car. This guy gets out of his car. It's Johnny. We're walking up the street, going into Frank's house, ring the bell. I'm right behind him. He's getting a little concerned. This is either going to be a riot, a mugging, or a church meeting. Okay. So he rings the bell. Okay. Goes up. I'm right behind him. Walking to the studio. Frank goes, "Hey, Johnny, you met Ray." Johnny goes, he just looks at that little side look. A little crazy. "You're that crazy little N-word."
Oh, man.
He was like, "I remember
hilarious.
you."
Yeah. He goes into the studio. Frank puts on I Don't Want to Get Drafted, or was it in France? I think it was France. And Johnny plays with the snuffles like this and goes, bang, bang, boom, shoot, bang, bang. "See you later." Frank goes, "Bye." And one take, and he's gone. Wait a minute, But it was this.
Yeah.
So Frank was always, he had that feeling of the underdog. There's a song he did called "Nigga Business." Mm-hmm. Have you heard it?
No.
He showed me the song. I told him, "We got to do this song." He goes, he was afraid that somebody from the NAACP would show up at my door in the hotel. Mm-hmm. I said, "I want the first brother that got his PhD and didn't go back to the community to save one of those gifted children. Oh, I dare him to knock on my damn door. So we go fast forward. The tour's going on. We get to Detroit. Cobo Hall. The security's black. Vendors are all black. Everything in there was black. And Frank does this long turn to me.
What did you?
I went, you would. And he goes, nigga business. We go into the song. As soon as the first verse from behind the stage walks like 5 these older black guys. You know, the one with the gold teeth. You dig what I'm saying? And they sat down. They started saying, tell them about it, baby. Tell them about it. Frank looked at me. I said, they don't hear that word. You're talking about what happened to this musician in the 50s, to a lot of black musicians. They got ripped out of their publishing, their writing, give them a Cadillac, some cocaine, and a white girl. I'm successful. Understand? Then they're broke. They're broke. And I sang that song with my heart, with all my heart, because it was a clarion call, you know?
Yeah.
Wake up. It's not that was then, and it doesn't have to do with white men and black men. It has to do with greedy men, understand? And naive men and women.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you clear the whole deck of all that race, and you go, just because you're white doesn't make you right. But if you're greedy, I can't deal with it. You know, if I say 50-50 is fair. But let's start fair. Can we at least start? Okay, we're doing a 100-yard dash. You go 20 yards down the track and put your starting blocks in. Hey, dude, come back here with the rest of us. Let's start fair. I'll compete, but you know, I keep looking at your picture up here. It's weird. Concentrate, Ray.
No. So is that what the music process was like with the Zappa band? Like, was it more like him feeling you guys out as musicians and then composing something, or was it a lot of creative freedom? Like, what?
Well, he was the creator of all this stuff, but it would be a point. There would be at a point where, like we were in New York somewhere, and I think the best compliment I ever got in my life. We were playing "The Torch Never Stops." So him and Bozio, or was it? No, him and I think it was Vinny Colaiuta were going out. And Frank would do the solo, and they would go out, and he would change time and tempos. He changed everything right in the middle of the solo, and Vinny would be right with him. Okay, but if we start here, 2, 3, 4, you go across that 1, be on the 1. See, I can put 5 over this. We're gonna go 7, right? But it's got to come back to that.
Right.
If I'm holding the 1 down, be real. Come back on that 1. So they missed it. They missed the 1. So I adjusted. So I walk off stage and Vinny goes, Vinny, if you're listening, remember this story? And Vinny goes, Ray, where did you hear the 1? No, I asked him. I said, Vinny, where did you hear the 1? He goes, 1 is relative. And I say, yeah, it's relative to where you start. It relates to the starting point. It is relative all the way through, but you have to start with the first point of relativity, right here, you know? And Frank told me to stop playing because I confused him. I confused you? Yes, this is a good day. But he wrote the stuff, and on stage there was time when he would just take it out. Okay, here. This meant reggae. He'd just go like that in the middle of the song. On a black page, we go twist the hair, you know, dreadlocks, reggae, and we're going to reggae. This 1300 cc brain, heavy metal.
Wow.
So all these signals, and we just shift and go there.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so cool. I'm going to be looking for those in videos of Frank. I'm going to be looking for
you
the
can see
signals
it.
now.
Oh,
yeah.
That, and we were in a place in France. It was an amphitheater, a Roman amphitheater, and the statue of Caesar was still in the wall right above us on stage. Okay, I went backstage with Frank, and he had this stuff, Cordon Noir, I think it's called. It was beyond cognac. beyond anything I'd ever tasted. It was, it was heaven. But we got really loose back there. We go on stage and we're doing Tiny Lights. And we start talking about Tarzan movies. I'm going, dun, 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 dun. And Frank walks over right in my ear and goes, Kriga Bandulu, white men come, fire stick kill. I started laughing. I'm like, okay, still vamping. Dun, dun. Next thing he comes, he says some more crazy stuff. I just went, I put my middle finger up, F it, I'm out of here. I laid down on the floor. Dun, dun, dun. He takes the mic and leans the mic down to my mouth, and I sang the song from the floor. Crowd is going nuts. Fun.
Yeah.
Still, but it's got to be, you can play those notes, but in the middle of it, he'll just go, and last night somebody did say, and like, oh, no, he's going to tell. And the music would change.
Yeah.
So it was a cool thing. He had expectations of stuff that you play these notes. Once you get under your belt, you have freedom to move.
Okay.
But don't, you got to know the music. You got to know it.
Right.
And if there was somebody that didn't sing their parts, he was lip syncing. I want to tell you that story, but I don't want to put somebody out and throw them under the bus.
You don't want to call anyone out?
No, it's not necessary. It's like
Yeah.
It's like you. What's that line? Tell the truth, deny everything. It's your life. You get just what you bring.
Mm.
That's what happens. You get what you bring. If you bring falseness, you get falseness.
Right. You get out what you put into life.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't put, man, I love it. This morning I woke up and with this song. What was it? I started writing this book this morning, and the title, I forget to hear the title, but it's like, I won't go there. But I realized what I was writing because I've been told I was going to get something today. And I was like, I prayed yesterday, and it's like, I need, sometimes I have to, most times, be pointed in the direction things get convoluted. You got all these songs and you're trying to put them together in a cohesive thing and you get sidetracked.
Mm-hmm.
So I need concentration. I need meditation. I need that moment, but I need that assistance. I said, God, give me this, not give it to me. Show me which way to go. I got the hammer and whatever I need, I'll do the work. I get up this morning with this idea. It's a cool idea. So I started writing and I showed it to my wife and she's like, I went, it's one of those things. I make sure I get up and I give thanks for you can believe in. I've read the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I've read all these positive books. I've read the Quran. I've read all this stuff. Back when I was 18, 19 years old, I was searching. And the same thing goes, it's about musical. I'm going to get back to that real quick because in the Bible, it said David danced out of his clothes. Whoa, that had to be a groove. So my whole thought before I got this tuning that happened a couple months ago, I've been saying, I want to find a chord or a note that will put a smile on the face of God.
Nice.
Not $1 million, not an extra girl besides my wife, not anything else. Just if I could do that and feel the person like, yes, I'm done. I'm cool,
Right.
So about a couple weeks later, I'm in the bed getting ready to go to sleep. And I don't want to say a voice, but it's like a dream state. And it's like, Get up. I got up, go in the front room. I walked in here. You're a guitarist, you'll understand this. Tune your guitar this way. I tuned it that way. I play fluidly from the nut all the way down. I can play on the back side of the guitar. And the chords that come out are strange. Just absolutely. But I finally found what I wanted to play.
Right.
How I wanted to play. Western tuning bores me. It's too many, it's too regimented. It's too mathematical. It's strict math. It's not African math. It's not Asian math. It's not Middle Eastern math. I love that stuff. What's it called? What's the country called? Is it Sri Lanka now? Mm-hmm. There's a country that used to be called Serendip. Serendipitous? You mean there was a place called Serendip? Now I want to hear the music from that place. The music has got to be like, you know,
Yeah.
you dig? It's like the Lydian scale. Comes from ancient Asia Minor. I want to hear the music that I mean, that's like standing next to the throne, you know?
Yeah.
Because they were writing to another place.
Yeah.
They weren't writing to booty crunching. You understand?
Right. Yeah.
They're writing to, it's like if you can wake up in the morning and see a thought. In that song on that album, there's one, I forget the name of the song, Bathsheba, Queen of Sheba, when she was going to see Solomon. And she brought in gold and all this stuff. She brought gold and silver, diamonds, all this stuff just for, tribute. But the most important thing she took was a list of questions. And this is where my attention went. Bang, because I got 3 daughters and a son. And when you go out with somebody, have specific things in your head, in your heart, you want to bring out of that person. You want to ask specific questions, lead the conversation to there to see if they're going from the mind or from the heart. You can't lie. You can think, oh, yes, and I did this, and And what about, well, I think, and when it's tilted and it's like, that doesn't even feel right. That's not nature.
Right.
That's mechanical, So that's why I wrote that song. It's about have a list of questions. Yeah. Young girls, pay attention. That's how you'll discern another's intentions and lessons they have learned. That's what I like to write from that point of view. I'll ask you a question, but the answer is implied. My mother used to say, if you want to know something, ask the question. You're halfway home. Mm-hmm. Once you start thinking about it, you're there already. But that's what I try to put in the music without saying, be good boys and girls, don't do drugs and don't. Look, I got a joint right here. No, sorry. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I want you to think, if I can. There's some simplistic things I do, but my music is called geopoly-sci-fi, geopolitical science fiction. Who drew the first line? Who's the first person that separated my house from your house, my neighborhood from your neighborhood, my city? That whole, right. And exponentially it gets bigger and bigger. Then it's just like a spider's web of bull stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, all these made up borders and made up separations.
I'm going to blame Cain. No, I'm just kidding.
You built the first city. Oh, there you go. You watch out now, young lady. Don't you start no stuff. Absolutely cool. That's a good song. That's a good song. Blame it on Cain? Blaming Cain? That is sick. You got to write that.
Well, it's going to be credited.
You got my email.
It's going to be credited to you.
No, well, you know what? I'm telling you, this is how I consider this an honor, but this is how stuff is written. Real stuff. If we're sitting in a room in a band and we're just talking, smoking a spliff or not, drinking some wine, drinking a nice single malt that my wife bought me the other day, and I love her anyway, because my birthday's tomorrow.
Oh,
anyway.
Happy birthday.
I'll be 39 again.
You're close to Dan. His birthday's coming up soon, too.
When is it?
Thursday.
You're a Cancer.
Yeah.
Walk it. You know what I'm saying? But I love people. I got off the point there, but I love people and I love what I do. All this equipment is centered around, I come in here to work. My wife likes TV. She likes PBS, documentary and stuff like that. She likes old movies and she likes English drama, things on TV. Mm-hmm. Love it. And she's there, TV there, nobody, whatever you need, baby, I got this, and we've been married 52 years.
That's amazing.
It's beautiful.
Same way as a band. We met at the Mint. I saw her in the hallway, and I wasn't supposed to get that job. How things work, there were 3,000 people ahead of me on the list in the federal government. I applied for this job. I got an interview. Walked in, I got the job. I see her walking down the hallway. She's telling me she saw me, and she knows what I was wearing that day. And we just started talking, And one day we just said, we'll go out and have dinner. No sex, nothing. One kiss, that was all it was. And we'll get to know each other. We're going to become friends. If it works, we became friends. Go to Twin Peaks, look at the city, go out to the beach, go out to Seal Rock, out, go where different places, downtown to Pam Pam's West, eat, places that black people didn't go. I didn't know that because I hadn't been in Italy for 4 years. You dig what I'm saying? So my view was a little larger. But with her dad is Irish, her mother's black. Come on. That's a no-brainer. But it was respect that brought us together, and we love each other. And that works for me.
Yeah.
Mother raised 12 kids.
That's
She
awesome.
raised 12 kids. And 12, 7 boys, 5 girls. She taught me both sides of my nature. Feminine side, masculine side. She said certain things that ring true still to this day. I know it's true because I feel it. Because I opened to it. I opened up to it. It came. That tuning I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up off it one day. Oh, the guitar tech. I wouldn't let him tune my guitar on the road. The second guitar. He goes, well, I had to. I was going to find out eventually because I tuned the guitars. I went, yeah, but you never noticed I changed 2 strings every time you gave it to me. He went, he thought
Got him.
he thought he had it, but it was just the idea. I wanted to, work on this and see what it was myself and have that space. I was given that, so I wasn't going to throw it away. I was given that, and it was pretty precious to me. And I've listened to Joni, all these different artists that use alternate tunings, and I find these shapes in each one. Mm-hmm. I find those shapes they cross all lines. A mixolydian, I don't care what it is. Once I find the first shape, I got the rest of it. I don't look for a mode. I look for the shape. I was in rehearsal in LA with Frank, big hall. We were playing finally pre-production, and I'm in a corner playing something. Frank walks in and goes, "What's that mode?" I went, I don't know. I'm just spelling my name. Spelling your name? I said, yeah, R-A-Y. We sat in the corner about a half hour, 45 minutes, spelling things.
Wow.
Here I'm showing Frank that it wasn't showing him. Once he heard it, he jumped in. Yeah. Which is the most lovely thing you can think of happening.
Yeah.
And the band's like, Ray. But it was like, it's a spell your name. Make a shape, make a square, make a star.
Wow.
Can't forget these things.
You're saying
angles,
so
geometry.
Many cool things.
I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I'm saying you're saying so many cool things. Like, how inspirational is that? Like, I never thought of anything like that.
It's the 7 forms. It was architecture, music. There's like 7. What do they call it? They're all part of the same circle. Oh God! But they all equal one. It's like the colors, primary colors. Take the primary colors. Those 3 colors, you divide it. You got the Star of David. But you also have those colors in between. You have those frequencies in between.
Right.
Take a white light, change the frequency, it changes colors. Right? So if I want to really get your emotions, and you're getting, I want to make it sad, I go straight up blue, but I want a crystal blue. I want the kind of blue that makes you go, oh. You know what I'm saying? So the lights and all that stuff, they go together with the chords, with the stuff that you play. At the end of the show, red and yellows and stuff. But I looked at it as, it all equals the same thing. Right. A feeling. And you promote that feeling, and the better you get at it, people don't even know they're not being manipulated as much as brought along. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good feeling. Right. To have people walk out going, man, it was like going to a good French restaurant and walking out and going, man, that taste is in my mind. Yeah. I can't get rid of that thought of how well they did that in Escargot. And I go to when I go to places, I look at their food. I go to try to get into someone's home to eat. Someone invites me over, I'm there. I want to taste it. I can smell it. I know what it is now. I know how to approach it. And I've learned, the first words I learned are, how do you say? In Italian, come si dice. So I'm an American, don't speak Italian. Come si dice. In Inglese, rain. I give them the sign language. Like, oh, piove. Grazie, grazie. Come si dice questo? In Italiano. Ah, la finestra. You know? And my hands start to work. God, put them away. But it's like, humble yourself. Music comes. You start to stress out on a song. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's been no more than 45 minutes. Stop. Take a breath. Perspective. I'm back. I don't know a single chord by name, but I've played these things and people are like, what is that chord?
Yeah.
I don't know. And they don't believe it. Because I can hear. I hear the chords. I hear the in-between notes. I hear the passing tones. I don't need to clutter my brain up with, oh, that's a G over C minor plus the dog. I mean, it's good to know those road maps. It's great to know those road maps. But if you get caught up in it, you end up going before Frank Zappa, like these guys from Berkeley and Juilliard auditioning, and they could read. Frank called them gnat notes, G-N-A-T, gnat notes. You could spray 1,000,000 gnats on the wall, and they could read it. But they could not play a 12-bar blues to save their life. They forgot.
Because what matters is the feeling, right?
Yeah, they forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do. They forgot that.
Yeah.
Frank told the band one time, he said, you guys are so white, if I threw you in water, all I would see was veins. Oh, I was the only black guy on the bus that day, and I was like, oh, man. Do I laugh loud or do I fall over? I slid under the seat. I was laughing so hard. But it's just a matter of, I think people that get so lost in, I can play 1,000 notes a minute. Wes Montgomery said it's one note. B.B. King, one note. Just
right.
One note. And he's going like this. That note's just
singing.
Yeah.
It was Miles Davis that said it's more important the notes you don't play, right?
Yeah, and ambiguity.
Yeah.
It's that space. I lead you to the space. Your mind fills the blank, fills in the blank. Sing is the same way. I don't hear a scale. I just go, when I go there, I'm not singing, I'm telling the story.
Yeah.
If there was, here's the guy that started, this is a rich guy in San Francisco, Novato. He wanted me to teach his son, 13-year-old son, how to sing. I go to the house and the kid's like snotty. You know what I'm saying? You know the one you just want to go, let me just take you to my house for about a week. You'll be fine when you get home. Let my mother go to my mom's house. You'll be, Donald Trump would have been an exemplary human being if he had met my mother. But anyway, so I told him, I said, sing me your favorite song. What's your favorite song? He goes, we don't need no education. We don't need. I stood up. His father left the room. This is what I said. God damn it, the bitch just pissed you off. Tell her. He stood up and went, we don't need no. And his father comes in the room and goes, what? When's the next lesson? I said, there are none. He knows how to go there. Tell the truth from where it's at. Tell the truth about when she walked away with another guy. When you tell that truth and you feel that truth, they'll be the front row and everybody else is going to be, I know that. I know that. They'll forget you're even singing. They're hearing a story. That's it. That's their life, reflecting. Right. Tell the story. Don't try to sing no notes. Those notes, that the story is going to take you to those places. It's going to take you to those places. When I hit those real hard places, it's like an Aikido, one point where everything's centered and you can't be knocked off balance, and it just goes. And I just love it. When it's given, I don't do it. I'm a radio, turn it on, waiting. But it's just, what do you do? Wait, say your name again.
Sifa.
Say it again.
Sifa.
Is it S-E or S-I?
S-I.
F-F?
F-A.
S-O-S-F-A. That's cool. Sifa.
Thank you.
What does it mean?
Character. It's just a character.
Girl, no, get out of here. Is it African?
Yeah. It's Middle Eastern, African. Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's name is Ayo. From
Ayo.
Nigerian Yoruba. It means
Yeah.
joy has descended to earth.
Okay.
I got that name from one of the ambassador. I guess he was the ambassador from Nigeria. He was in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Had his robes on, the little thing that I don't know what kind of animal's tail that was, but it was something that wasn't alive anymore.
Yeah.
It's like saying a rabbit foot is lucky. What didn't do anything for the rabbit?
That's true.
But so I walked out of the elevator, and this little baby, darker than your shirt, beautiful white teeth, ran to me with her arms up. My wife is in San Francisco pregnant. Baby runs to me, and the mother goes, she doesn't even run to her father. She saw something. I love it. I went, what's her name? She goes, Ayo. Thank you. Back in the elevator. I found the name. You know, it's home. I've been listening to, what's her name? Oh God. Is it Letty? Hathaway. What's her name?
Not Donny Hathaway's daughter.
No. The African girl.
No.
It's Hathaway. What's her name? God, she is so sick. I love her videos, and I love her. I love the music because I've been trying to get home. I've been trying to get back to the field, and I found it. When I found it, I didn't want to let go because it's all a part of me.
That's what I wanted to ask you, because you were saying that you were traveling and stuff like that. And you're talking about what music sounds like in other countries. So I wanted to know, like, does that rank top on like why you want to go to another country? Like, I like to go for like eating, but like, do you go to another country to know what the music sounds like there? Is that one of your main reasons to travel?
It's for the feel, and the food really gives me an insight. You know, it does. You go. I don't go to like Burger King or come on, or to some commercial place. I want to go with the locals. That little alley, the little local restaurant around the corner there, and you go in and you get the best wine. Man, get out of here. This borscht. I had some borscht. I told the guy I haven't had a good borscht since over a year. He drove 900 miles round trip back to catch the second or third gig and bought me his wife's homemade borscht.
Wow. Now
that was being there. I hadn't been in that country until that moment. I had never been there. Till that moment I tasted that, I'm here. I've been here. You know, but the music is not second to anything. I mean, I love the music because it's still natural. You know, when you find the primitive side of it, you walking in, my mother used to say, walking in high cotton.
Yeah.
See, when you walk in high cotton means you don't have to bend over so far to pick it, right? So walking in high cotton means, hey, you got your stuff together, you know? So I haven't been to Africa. I wanted to go. I almost made it. I was, we were in England. I had like 3 or 4 days off. So I told Frank, I'm going to Morocco. He goes, okay. Then he called rehearsals in those days.
Oh, man.
Well, see, I read this book by Francis Bebe. I think it's Bebey, something like that, Bebe. He's a musicologist, but there's no such word in any African language for music. They adopted the French or the English. No such word. Whatever it was, it reflected nature. So you had the African waterfall with the rice inside of it. You turn it, it sounds like a waterfall.
Oh, yeah.
But there's another one that sounds like a panther. So kids were trained, you go outside and then they blew that thing to run into the hut, you know? And I'm like, ooh. Then it's an earth bow. I want to see these things and hear them, you know? It's in the ground. There's a can in the ground with a string attached to it and a stick. It's like the wash tub thing, the hillbillies used to play here with the bass, with a broomstick, you know? But this one, the whole ground becomes a soundboard. Dude, I gotta feel that. You know what I'm saying? To be able to play something and that resonates like that.
Yeah.
So I listened to a lot of things, and one my brother listened to, he was schizophrenic, and nobody in the family thought they didn't know what was wrong with him, and they always thought he had this, he has delusions. Okay, I understand that. But I'm the only one that can bring him back to normalcy. But what I do is I walk up to him and I just go, Herman, come here. Kiss me with your tongue. And he goes, Ray, stop. He's back. He's back. You dig what I'm saying? So he wrote this song. I told him, I said, we're talking about Vietnam. This during the time when Vietnam was hot. But there's something else going on in the opposite direction. What are they doing? So he writes this line. It starts like, resting deep within my mind, there sleep memories of you. Motherland, we know you well, although we be a few. Let us light the path by night, light the path by night, and dance beneath the moon. Ah, madness creeps within the bush. Ah, concrete jungles too. Looking homeward, I'm like, madness creeps within the bush. Ah, concrete jungles. I'm like, dude, get off me. And he just come up with it right there. Just off, and so I keep that calmness and I know where he's at. He's awash. And he finds land for a minute, then he's back at the mercy of the waves. One of our kids is has autism. One of our cousins, his wife, she's a Jewish girl, she's a beautiful girl, and Xavier was born. He's autistic, and so I'd walk in, he would look in the eyes, And so I took my guitar over my acoustic. I'm sitting on the couch. I play a note, and I go, I feel him crawl on the couch next to me. And I stop. I'm not looking at him. He go, next thing his hands on my shoulder. And he's right there. He's lost in it, but he's home. You understand?
Yeah.
So that second he's home and nothing's confusing. It's all it takes, calm the waters. Peace be still. It's a line, peace be still. My friend used to be a cop in San Francisco. He shows up at my door one day. I open the door, and all I saw was a black cloud. He was so broken. His 3-year-old son getting hit by a car or something. And it's like, and Ollie's like 6'8", big guy. And I had just written this song. I said, come here. And I put it on. It's called Peace Be Still. Back in the day when I was going for other things, like calming things around me, And it was just a visual of the eye of the storm. It's a calm place. All this stuff is going around you.
Right.
Just choose to stay in the eye. Whatever it takes, stay in the eye. Don't get in that outside circle. You're gone, So stay in the eye of the storm. You see all this madness around you? Stay in the eye. They call it creative space. In a crowd of 10,000 people, you create a 3-foot circle, imaginary circle around you. And nothing's in that circle. In your mind, nothing's in that circle. Calm. Stay calm. I read Siddhartha. When I read Siddhartha, I felt like I was home. The book? Mm-hmm. I gave it to this young drug dealer. No, I didn't give it to him. He was talking to me, and they started calling me Ray Love in San Francisco because I kept saying, why are you killing each other? What are you doing? There's other things. So I told him about it, and I was saying, Siddhartha. Next day, I'm walking up the street, and he's sitting there halfway through the book. And he goes, yeah, Ray Love, man, Govinda was whack. He should have stayed with Siddhartha, because, and I'm like, 2 days later, he was dead. Another kid was talking about this stuff. I said, come to my house, I'll show you something to release the endorphins in your brain. He goes, endorphins? Yeah, come on, I'll show you. I give him my guitar, showed him this chord. He goes, and he almost dropped the guitar. It's like, 2 days later, he was dead. I told them both about this song called Double-Edged Sword. I said, I want to do this song, Double-Edged Sword, and I want you to give me street. Here's the story. I want you to talk street about this story. I'm going to run the story backwards, almost the way I write, Shakespearean like. I want to turn phrases and stuff, So can you do that? Yeah. I told both of them they're both dead. Now here's the dark side of my humor. Who in this community don't we need around here? I want to tell them this story. I mean, I'm going to need that drug dealer. Who needs him? Hey, come here. I want to tell you a story. I mean, it's really dark, but come on.
You're picking them off one by one.
After a point, you just go, look, tell as many of your friends before tomorrow because you might not make it tomorrow. But that's what I read. I read a lot. I read voraciously, and sometimes I don't get out of the black circle because people think, you haven't conjugated a verb or that you hide your books under the floorboard. Okay. Duh.
That's hilarious. What's cool about like pioneers like you, people who like started this whole like different type of sound, who are a part of that, is that you guys from like the mid 60s and throughout the 70s decades, like we always feel like that's the best time for music, all types of music, like, and like you're just reiterating that, talking about like the feeling, like that's, I think that's the difference between you guys and like our generation too.
Connection.
Yeah, like I was just thumbing through stuff, and like Brian May was doing an interview and he was talking about like making music with Queen, and he was like, everything we did to make you feel the way you did was on purpose. Like we wanted you to cry. We wanted you to feel like, oh my God, like we played those notes until it happened, until the
It's a movie.
Yeah.
It's a visual thing. It's like, this is my life. This happened to me and I wrote it. And it's like a memory. I can go back to the second that one of my dogs was shot by my stepfather in Michigan because he got into the hen house and started eating eggs. You can't have that on the farm.
No, he's got.
But I remember the moment he took me with him to kill this dog. Now I go back in my mind. It sounds cruel. That's the way it is in life. But it was like, when I go back to better moment. Susan Miller, I had a crush on this girl forever. And we were in the movies together. And I'm 15 and I'm trying to get my arm around her as my hand goes up. My hand's like this, and I'm gonna stretch. It's around her, and she didn't move. Yes, a connection.
Right.
But I write about those. If I see something, I can write it. If it's your life and you're talking to me, I see it. And I've been to so many different places here, psychologically and spiritually, that there's very few places left to go. But I look for new places because it's necessary to point that out to other people that you're not by yourself.
Right.
My anti-bullying song is just that. One line is pleading for them not to make that dark sacrifice. And it's because I understand what bullies are. Steve Vai was on the streets in Brussels on the first tour. After the gig, I like to wind down. It takes me about 2 hours. So I'm on a walking street walking, and Steve is standing there crying. I'm like, dude, what's wrong? He goes, why don't they like me? I took a step forward. I said, you want to know? He goes, yeah. I took another step. I said, do you want to know? He goes, yeah. Now I'm right here. Like that. You really want to know? Yeah. Because you're a bad MF. He goes, what? So here's my reasoning. If you and I are talking and there's something in your language or in your frame of references concerning me that makes me feel uncomfortable, like you're saying something under, some subliminal thing. Now, would a true human being say, man, can we have a cup of coffee or a beer or something? I want to talk to you about something, So, am I right? Am I perceiving this? Did I see the wrong stuff? I said, isn't that the way it should be done? He goes, yeah. Did they? No. Good night. Anyway, he told the story. We were Zappa play Zappa, and we were in Australia, and he had come up to play a couple gigs. He told the story in the van. I didn't say a word because I had told him the story. It's not a story. It's about bullies. It's about bullies. And how I was making a hint. I was hinting to certain people, certain behaviors spotted. Don't do that. And it's not cool because you can't. How can you play with somebody who's a bully? How can you play around somebody that's just constantly being toxic?
Right.
It gets into your soul. How can you write your music when you go home? And it's hard. People say, well, it's hard to fire, but you don't have to fire anybody. Hire yourself. I'm worth it. I think you guys are worth it. Look what we're doing. I'm sitting there spewing, and it doesn't matter to me how it's used, where it goes. The truth is the truth. And anything I say is backed up with reality. You dig? That's what bothers people, I think, is that I don't sell out and be one of them, Girl asked me, do you mess around on the road? I said, here's my put off line. This is my go away little girl line. Well, it had to be what I have at home or more, and I've never seen that. No, it had the opposite effect. I'll show you. No. Wait, sign of the cross. Wait, white man cross, black man cross. Go away, little girl. I don't have time. See, I told her, I said, because how would she know? Because I would get home and something would be diminished between us. And she would feel that. She doesn't know it. She'd feel distance. Not going there. So it's not worth it. So I'm not saying what tomorrow brings, but see if I love you. No. No, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I have to be solid in where I'm at. Otherwise, I can't. Anything I say is taken with a grain of salt. If I don't walk the path that I believe, what good am I? If you're a politician and you're, I promise you this, and you don't do anything, trip on it. The song called I wrote a song after the name of the music. Every 4 years, they tell you the same lies. Mm-hmm. They don't do anything for 4 years. Next 4 years, they don't do anything. By the time you realize what's going on, you're 95 years old and realize you've been had. Mm-hmm. Nothing ever happened. Mm-hmm. No one ever fixed that bridge that killed 50 people. Mm-hmm. No one ever stopped people from killing each other. Why? Money? Are you nuts? What happened? What happened to your soul? What happened to your spirit? Well, no, it's a Republican. I joined the Republican Party in San Francisco. Watch this one. Oh, I love this one. So I won't go to vote. Black guy goes, hey, everybody, to the whole place. Look what we got here, a black Republican. I waited for the laughter to die down. Well, after the Civil War, all black people were Republicans because of Lincoln. And faces cracking. It's not the party, it's the platform. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what party you are, the platform keeps changing. All of a sudden you're like, free the slaves. Next minute you're, make them all slaves. Don't care what color you put on your door or on your flag. Doesn't make any sense. Right. I look for this. They say, oh, Obama's a president. Let me see what he's allowed to do. Let me see what he will do. First of all, later for the color of the skin. How can I say the color of the skin is going to matter if I'm saying it shouldn't matter? Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to buy in just because he's black. He could be the most evil cat in the world. He was a great president, and they wouldn't let him do anything. And that's what they gave my kid. I went, ain't this a trip? Y'all really don't want to do anything. Y'all don't want him to do anything. He suggested the most basic thing in the world. Roosevelt, let's put everybody back to work. Let's do the national parks. Everybody, national park, go out there and get a job. Clear all the paths and all the trails and all the da-da. That's too radical. It's been done before, dude. But they don't want him to be successful. So then I'm looking at it like, you guys are just a bunch of rich guys having fun. Yeah. What did Washington do? Went to Washington, went to where Philadelphia, I guess it was them. They did their work, went home to harvest their crops. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't a lifetime job. It was like, yeah, see y'all next session. Okay, gone.
That's crazy.
When they turn it into you become a lawyer, become a liar.
Yeah.
So I watch everything. I'm sorry, I get off the track, but it's all music to me because I look at it and go, you guys are playing some dissonant notes. They don't go with anything. Dance to this tune. Lock babies in cages. 3, 4. You know?
No.
You understand? It's like it bugs me because it's so apparent when it says I have a parent, so I have to write it. I wrote a song. Wait, don't move. Don't move. See if you can hear this. Oh, help me, Jesus. 1 second. Here it is. Okay, here we go. Let me know if it's too loud.
We can't really hear anything.
Oh, you can hear it yet?
No.
No.
Okay. Can you hear that?
No.
No, you can't hear it?
No.
Nah.
Oh, okay, never mind. It's Donnie Runs Amok. It opens up with a mind like that. It makes you wanna, and it goes on this whole thing, and he's misogynist. The whole thing. I just wrote the whole thing. Man, for a man who's never read a book, and it goes on. It's just Donnie. There's your wake up call,
Yeah.
But it's like, put this. Somebody, please. Frank would have a ball with all this because how can a man that went from a TV program be president and everybody's afraid of him? Did he show them something in this closed session of Congress? Like, I'm the devil, I'm big, or I got $20 million for each of you? What happened? How did he become man with all this clout? He can't even really speak a clear, concise sentence. Something's going on here. Something's wrong. My mother says something's in the milk. What is that? Something under, what is it?
Something in the milk is not clean.
Yeah, something in the milk ain't clean.
Yeah.
That's my wife back there.
Hello.
Hi, baby.
Hi, babe.
Want to say hi?
No.
It's too early in the morning.
Respect.
Let us know. What music are you doing? Are you working on now? Like, what's going on with you?
There's one called. It's an album. It's going to be called Seeds, and it's the origin is just things. Whatever you plant, it could be seeds. It could be sex. It's just seeds. It's like the germ of things. Where did this start? Or this started, and this is this. You know what I'm saying? There's so many ways you can play it.
Yeah, like the story you were telling us before about the young kid that you basically changed his life with a little seed.
That's it. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And that's what's. My wife was with me. We were in Plainwell, Michigan. And now this is love when she went back to Michigan with me. Wow. Wintertime, she's from San Francisco. She fell on the snow one day. Slip, bam. But it went like this. I was offended. How dare you fall and not hurt yourself? How you do that in the snow just went? It was like she floated down. Oh, hell no. No, we're not doing this. I'm from the Midwest, so I fall. It's pain involved. But there was this woman that actually saved me a whole bunch of mess mechanically with my car. My headlight went out. And so I was in this little town called Richmond. And she goes, the first garage goes, oh, it's going to be $500, It's because the Rimararuka rocker is off and the Sikamanakanukalaga is disconnected. And that's $500. That's without labor. Oh, no, dude, no, dude. So I went down the street, this other little garage, and her husband wasn't there. She comes out, she goes, excuse me, pops the hood and goes, holds up the bulb. Little tiny 50-cent bulb. She put it in, lights came on. I said, does your kid, you have a son? She goes, yeah. A kid? I didn't say son. And she says, yes. I said, does he like music? He wants a guitar. I said, I got something for him.
Nice.
It was not for any other reason than she took something off me that I had no knowledge of, and I could have just been out in the desert somewhere, But so I went home, had a brand new Telecaster, the hollow body telly.
Yeah.
And I brought it back. Next day, I walk in, His father has terminal cancer, stomach cancer. His grandmother and grandfather was there, and him and his mother. So I walk in and I told the kid, I said, maybe you don't know what I do. She goes, yeah, well, he Googled you last night. So I gave him that guitar and this book that I had. I can't find it anymore. I got to find that book. Best music book ever. And it was like, I can't play all these guitars, but his dad's got terminal cancer. And it just happened to be that I felt like giving that gift. And his dad was there to see his son get something that he, you know what I'm saying? Get a leg up, something that he desired, something he wanted. He was alive to see that moment. You understand? Now I get home, no gift, no deed goes unpunished. I'm online, and a friend of mine who used to hang out with the band back in the days of KVHW. That was the band we were making $2,000 a night a man. Crazy. I walked away. Anyway, so a guy he goes, man, he was at the Great American Music Hall posting this, and he goes, man, Ray White just gave my cousin in Michigan a guitar.
Wow.
This is your cousin in this little town out in the middle of nowhere, you know? But it was a good feeling for me because it's like, dude, enjoy this. You see that look on their face, man. Rock out, have a good time. Keeps no more idle hands, you know. It's the devil's playground. Have nothing to do. You go rob somebody. I never made that connection. You know, I'm lonely. I'm poor. Let me go shoot somebody. No.
Yeah.
Can you see it from that window? Never mind. She's ignoring me. You don't love me anymore?
Yes, I do.
So tell me something about you before you go. Tell me something about your music.
Oh wow! I mean, it's just a mix of everything that we like. I mean, that's that's the whole reason that we.
Are you online?
Yeah, of course. We're on all the stuff. Sight After Dark.
Sight After Dark? What?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
what I saw the thing. Okay, all right.
Yeah, this is our logo on the shirt.
Oh, that's cool. Who's the artist? You are?
Yeah.
We gotta talk.
Okay.
Because I want a cover for. I'm gonna have to do a physical CD this time, but I want a cover. I'll get a chance to. You got the information anyway, so that represents this thought, and I just need it to look, impressionistic. I mean, I can't even say it. Impressionistic. What is impressionistic, Wanda? Is that impressionistic?
Yeah.
Lord have mercy, Jesus. I'd be generated into. Okay, you know what slave talk is?
Now he does.
Frank had this poster. You're in the vocal booth. There's a poster of newly liberated slaves. They didn't have any clothes, so they wore whatever they could, given to them. Baggy pants and she's like, but they were getting married. And there was a sign on the door of the place that said, okay, it says, leave your guns and razors at the door. But it says, leave, L-E-B-E, your, Y-O, guns, G-U-N, and razors, R-A-S-A-R-S, at A-T-D-D-E, D-O. I'm sitting there trying to sing. Dude, come on, man. Come on, this is on purpose. It was hilarious, though.
Yeah.
But I look back, every time I looked at that, I looked back in time. And I saw myself there, and I was like, wow, strength. It's like the Jews in Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
And I met a man my music took me through the Hebrew door. I met a man in San Francisco. I was at Safeway, and this guy walks up. I was single, and the guy walks up. I was looking at the steak, a New York steak, they called. And he goes, don't buy that. Why? He goes, come here. Here's the same steak, and it's joined with another steak. We didn't cut it. They don't cut it. If you buy this, it's say $1.50 a pound. That's $7 a pound. But you get both steaks, so you get to separate it. I'm like, I never looked at food. I'm like, I'm gonna look for this from now on. I shake his hand. There's the tattoo.
Wow.
I couldn't let go of his hand. I sat there and I held that hand and I was shaking like that. And he just stood there calm. I got tears in my eyes. So calm. And he watched me as I took that trip. I smelled the death. I saw maggots. I saw the whole thing. And he just stood there calm, looking me right in my eyes and let it wash over me. I was like, wow. It was a gift because I was like, man. And then when I hear people say there was no Holocaust, oh, it's like you should go home and get that whipping that you should have got at 5 years old for being stupid, for being arrogant. You know what I'm saying? It's like It's like a racist. How can you be racist when there's only one race on this planet? Help me out here. You know?
Yeah.
We had a kid in the Air Force that thought black people grew tails after midnight.
We don't? No.
She said, we don't? Oh, it hurt. It hurt. I bruised my ribs the other day. And you said, God, help me, Jesus. You know, I met a shopping cart. Our personal shopping cart. I was loading groceries into it. And went to enter the building, and the front wheels caught in the sidewalk, and I went, took the handle right off. Strength of a guitar player. You know, you'll find this out one day when you're 77 years old. And I hit the ground and it bruised my ribs, but I wasn't sure it was bruised. I was making sure that I didn't crack anything that was aimed at something in like the lungs or heart or something, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm a vet, went to the hospital and everything's cool, but just now when she said that, we don't.
Well, we're glad that you're okay. We're glad that nothing was broken.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's another story.
Oh, yeah. You know, I got a story. I was in Hebrew school, and the teacher was saying that people would go up to her and be like, "Where's your horns at?" Shit like that. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I tell you, I was in New Jersey. There was this club, and it was next door to what used to be a project. Beautiful buildings, and the owner of the club, Jewish guy. We were talking about the whole thing, and so you find Jews, you find black people. We were just talking, having a good time, holding our conversation outside of the BS of other people. Okay, and he goes, but the Jewish community, had bought these buildings and turned it into a place for the elderly, the elderly Jews. And I'm like, that's a great idea. They plan, and we were just in there talking, and I'm like, he was telling these stories about people thinking that, oh yeah, not Hanukkah was. What holidays it's supposed to sneak in your windows and grab your babies and drink the blood of your babies? Some crazy. I mean, here's what kills. You got a burning cross talking about we love Jesus. Jesus was a Jew. Well, no, he wasn't. He got blue eyes. Dude, help me. You know that mentality that's like, no, it's not mentality at all, is it?
It's just good and evil. That's just it. Like there's two trains of thought, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah. And you know what? There's one guy I met. He was downtown in Aviano, Italy, and his dad. This one told his dad told him that black people grew tails after midnight. Now he's back in the back of this club before he realizes that the club is full of black folks. And he looks at the clock, and it's like 5 minutes to high noon, to midnight. He freaks. Now you figure he gone through basic training. He should have. And what they put him in, like a isolated, segregated place. But anyway, he's still holding on to this belief. So they called. I was an air policeman, so we had security, nuclear security, and law enforcement. Okay, shot down there. He's doing a John Wayne. He reaches behind him, grabs a bottle from the bar, and breaks it. Come on, nigger. I said, you're like 6'3", 4, about 280. I'm 5'9", 180. They told me to take my club off and subdue you, but you're too big for that. So I reached in my right hip, clip, and pulled out that 38 Combat Masterpiece and pulled that hammer back on single action. And that sound is the most deadly sound in the world. That mechanical death sound, that hammer going back. I said, let's see, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna shoot you in your knee so you can never walk again. Now we can either do this or we can have a drink. And I'm not supposed to drink on duty. He stops and goes, cheers screaming. He's mad and red. You're a different kind of nigger. I put the gun away, had a drink with him. We couldn't say that word around him anymore. He was like, when I get home, I'm hitting my dad dead in the mouth. That lying son of a... Flip, just like that.
Wow.
He just flipped right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It was like, there's no other... Wait, you know one of the favorite songs that black folks sing in church? Amazing Grace?
Mm-hmm.
You know who wrote that?
There's
A
white
25-year-old slave ship captain. He's going out and God went, hello. He went, oh yeah. He parked there. He docked the ship, got off of it, and walked away. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Wow.
Come on. Sing that song for a reason, and people didn't even know where it came from. And I was like, if you need proof of right and wrong, like you said, evil, here it is. Don't worry about them. We know who wins in the end. You can't win this game. It's like if people don't believe, if people are atheists, well, that's cool. If people believe, that's cool. But if you wake up one day and find out there was something loose in the land, you go, "Ooh, there is a devil." Well, duh. If there's this, then I'll fill in the blank. Then there's that. You know what I'm saying? People saw The Exorcist and got freaked. They were like, "Oh man, I'm gonna turn my lights off." I'm like, don't you know, if you believe that, if you're scared of that, be thankful for this.
Right.
You don't get a clue.
That's true. It's very true. No,
You know,
you've. Sorry, I mean, I was
What?
going to say you've given us so much inspiration during this. Like,
Oh,
I just
man.
wanted to thank you for that. There's all. I mean, you know,
I'm
we didn't know
talking.
how this was going to happen. We just appreciated all the inspiration and the things that you said to us that'll probably make us think about life differently, about music differently.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to say that.
Just say this one thing: don't ever play music. Get out of the game. Please. No. It's your calling, man. If it's just your calling, you're gonna do it, and there's no retiring. If you went and became a truck driver, you'd still be playing music. You know, it kept me sane. It kept me sane during the crazy times.
So
You know, then things would open up and go, "Oh, that chord. What is that?" You know.
Yeah.
You ever, Eric Levy? I think he's still playing with Whitesnake, but he used to. He was playing with us for a while in San Francisco. So I had this song called Brasil, and I had these chords, strange chords. And he goes, "What is that chord?" Now he's a master. He's a guy studied. Well, he knows keyboards. He knows music down to the infinite degree. And I go, I don't know. He goes, "What's that chord?" His hands are on the keyboard like this. I put my fingers between his fingers, and there was the chord. And he goes, "This is the height of his being tickled." He goes, "Deep theory." I'm like, theory? I didn't know it was theory. I just
That's amazing.
winging it. Let me let you guys go. I've been talking forever.
No, it's all good. We appreciate it. We hope, like we said, like you just given us a lot of inspiration. We hope whoever is listening to this, wherever they are in the world, hopefully, that's the inspiration just spreads and that's how it starts. This could be another seed right here for somebody out there. We don't even know.
That's for sure.
It is a seed. Not to be too biblical here, but Matthew 18 says, "Wherever two of you shall agree upon anything touching heaven and earth, as it's loosed on earth, it's loosed in heaven." So we agree on it. That's what it's going to be.
That's beautiful.
There's no maybe. Don't say maybe. No, it's going to be.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
on that
so
note,
much.
man, y'all be peace. Have peace in your lives and love. And please be careful.
Yeah.
And as a young Jewish man, I'll tell you this too. I tell all the young brothers, if you get stopped by the police, you say, "Officer, you get my wallet." I'm not making any moves. No, brother, it's on you. Peace, y'all. Boy, look
All
at
right.
that
Much,
face.
You stay well.
Oh, man, damn. I've been looking all over here. You got to edit this shit so I don't look so crazy. I'm like,
You don't look crazy.
I'll see
No,
you
it's
guys.
all good. All right,
See you,
you
Ray.
stay well.
Wait. So the name of your band is the name of the thing
Sight,
we
yeah,
did today.
Sight After Dark.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm going there right now.
Because even
Love
in
you,
the
man.
even in the darkest times, you got to keep the vision. You know.
Yeah.
So you saying hold on? When you
Yes.
feel your when you oh never mind, that's another song. Bye. I love you.
All right, you stay well.